Hey everyone, Ali here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to play Mini House Flipper. Now you may have noticed that I've actually got two versions of Mini House Flipper in front of me. So yeah, this is actually the prototype that I made for Kickstarter. I assembled all of this inside this mini tin. I purchased this sticker separately, and all the stuff is down here. You can see I've already sleeved these cards, but I think the quality is okay in my opinion. I was really happy with this prototype, especially that I didn't sell that many copies, and I was really struggling to find manufacturers who are willing to do, I think, 20, 25 copies. So yeah, these are the tokens. Don't know if you can see them. Yeah. And we're also going to need these tracker cards, obviously. We've got some mini cards as well. These are the objective cards. We will also need some cubes, which we can get from this other version. So I'll talk about this version now. So this is the version that you can actually buy from the Game Crafter. It's actually a special one to me because it was sent by my good friend Chris from Fervent Workshop. So yeah, this version is actually, I think, in terms of card quality, it's much better than the one. Maybe I think like the finish texture on it is much better because this feels like cardboard. No, this is good. But yeah, still happy with both versions really. And you can see like even the tokens are a bit different, and even the cards are much tinier. And I think this design of the cards is better than the one I have. Although I do like these cards, they're really cute. But yeah, we're going to need the cubes. Going to put back the cards and we'll begin the setup shortly. Okay, so third take. Hopefully this time it goes well. Right, so to set up the game, what you need to do is shuffle the specialist deck and draw 3 random cards face up. So as you can see, if you flip this to the other side, you'll reveal the project side. And actually these two sides, they don't have like correlation. Next, place your trackers in front of you. So you got your score tracker, at the moment it's 0, and you have your tracker card, and this has 3 sections. The first tracker is your reputation tracker, and you start with 2, which is like below average. The next tracker is your dazzle tracker, and this one you'll start at a 6. Then you have your money tracker, which is up here. It starts with a 15 if you're just starting this game, or if you don't know how to play this game, I would recommend you start with 15. Then you have your price list card, just place it onto the side. You also have your objective cards. You need to draw, so you need to shuffle the deck, the objective deck, and draw 2 cards randomly, and keep the rest of the cards next to these, the deck next to the drawn cards. You will also need some of these, so keep them in handy. And then the final piece to the setup, actually let's just put this up here, let's just move these, is the specialist. So put this right next to you, and that's the setup. If you want to increase the difficulty, so you're used to the game, what we would recommend is that you either start with a 12 if you want a bit of a challenge at the start, or you can start with a 10, and this is a bit way more difficult than the 12 one. Okay, now you're ready to play the game. The first thing that you can do is boot your specialist, and what that means is that you look at your specialist, the abilities, and these numbers in here, which reflects the future prices of materials. I'll get into this in a second. And decide whether to keep your specialist or not. So my specialist at the moment is an IT specialist. They have the ability to fix electrical faults, but they're kind of average. And they have the ability to fix IT faults, and they're really good at it. And they also give me this special ability down here, which we will get into later on. For these numbers in here, so if you decide to boot your specialist, but you want to do is a kind of overlap, so that's your price list. You want to overlap it on top of your specialist, like so. And now you basically changed the prices of the materials. So you've increased paint to 3. You increased tiles, well, that remains the same. You increased doors to 5 instead of 3. And at the same time you decreased installations by 1. And furniture by 2. So yeah, that's one of the strategies that you can take into account early on in the game, or in a turn. If you do boot your specialist, you overlap it with this card, and you don't randomly draw, but let's say you do get this one, and that becomes your new specialist. The next step is, well, in addition to deciding which specialist to keep, you might want to also look at the projects that are available on the market. So for example, let's have a look at this one. And so there's a few things that you need to take a note of. So the icon on here, that indicates the size of the project, whereas the icons inside of the house plan indicate the faults that needs, or improvements that needs to be fixed. Down here you've got the bonus that you will get once you completed this project. If we look at the faults inside of this house, for example, you will notice that some of them have blue borders and the other ones have red borders. So for the blue ones, these ones you can fix without the need of a specialist, whereas these two you'll need a specialist to fix. You can fix both, or you can fix one. And if you do one, that's fine. This will impact how much bonus you will get later on in the turn. So these materials you can buy from the market. So these are the tokens that you need to place on top to indicate that you've completed this task. Again, this is the prototype tokens. The actual tokens are actually a bit smaller than these ones, and they can fit nicely onto the card. Let's say that we did not decide to boot our specialist for now. And if we look at this small house plan or small house project, it only requires 2 materials, and it has only 1 fault down here. If I can get that on camera. Yep. So that's a small project, and it gives me $4 at the end when I complete this project. So let's say this is the project that I want to work on. So me and my specialist, I go to the market and I buy these materials. I need to check how much they cost from the price list. So the paint cost me 1. So that's down to 14. So you need to keep track of your money. And the furniture cost me a 6. So this will go up here, and this will bring me down to basically an 8. Okay, so say you want to complete this electrical fault. Again, you can use your specialist to do so. I will do so just to demonstrate. It's probably not a good idea at the moment, because that's how much they're a bit average in terms of fixing these faults, and you'll see how this will impact your game later on. So let's say I want to fix it. I would go up here and say I've used my IT specialist to fix this fault. Then I move on to the next phase of the turn, which is so I bought the material and I paid for the labor. I forgot to pay for the labor, so if you use your IT specialist or any specialist, you need to pay $3. Next, you can dazzle the public. So if you did use your specialist, what you will need to do is look at your reputation, which is currently a 2, and you can look at your IT specialist ability and compare them to this tracker down here, which is the dazzle tracker. So 2 plus 3 is less than a 6, and that means you don't get to dazzle the public, and as such what will happen is that you don't score anything. You basically keep this at a 6, and you don't gain the boost or the special ability that your specialist has. Imagine that we did complete, and we did have enough to so let's say I had like 3 reputation, so 3 and 3 is equal to a 6, that's fine. That means that you get to score a number of points equal to your current reputation, so that will give me 3. Next, you will increase the dazzle threshold, so this doesn't stay the same, it actually increases. And you get to use the special ability on your IT specialist. This cube with an arrow, this is the humble brag boost, which means that if you do successfully dazzle your public, then you get to reduce your threshold by 1. So your threshold actually stays at 6. But that didn't happen, so we can move on to the next phase of the turn, which is selling the building. Again, you probably need to use the board, because down here you will see this is where you will place your sold buildings. At the moment, I can possibly keep them down here. Let's just move these up so that we can see everything. Okay, and since I placed them on the first bit, which is this one, this will give me an extra bonus. By the way, I get 4 immediately for completing this project. Then I also get to gain plus, I can't see this number, but I can't see it. I think that's a +1. So let's say +1. I might be wrong, but I'll probably fix it in the video when I edit the video. So that's selling the project. Score objectives is next, and your objectives, what they require is so let's have a look at the objectives now. So these are the 2 objectives that I have. This one is the engineer objective, and for this objective you need to complete 2 electrical faults. At the moment I've only got 1. By the way, you need to remove the materials and maybe keep the green tracker just to remember, but I usually remember which one I fixed, so that shouldn't be a problem for me, at least. This one requires you to complete 2 electrical faults on 2 separate projects. If you do complete the 2 faults, you score this much, which hopefully should show on camera. There we go. So that's your score if you do complete this. This one is called the redecorator, and this one requires you to knock down 2 walls, and this will also give you a 5. At the moment I've only got 1 electric fault which I fixed. Then I don't score anything from the objectives. Next, replenish. So if you did score anything from the objectives, then you get to replace them. Oops. And because we didn't, so we're going to move on from that. We did complete a project, so we're going to draw a new card and we're going to place it where we completed that other project in the market. Next, you get to advertise or fundraise. So in this phase you can do 2 steps, which is you can spend $15 on advertisements, and what that does is that it will increase your reputation by 1, and you can go up to a maximum of 5. Or if your reputation is greater than 1, then you may fundraise, and by reducing your reputation by 1 to gain $10. So let's say I have, my reputation is at 5, let's say, and I need the money badly, so I would reduce that to a 4, and I would gain an extra $10. Okay, and that's it really. That's the end of one turn, but hopefully it should give you an idea of how to play this game. You immediately win if you reach 70 points before you run out of projects to draw from. So that's another thing take into account if you're like, booting your specialist. Then you're basically depleting your deck as well. And that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it gave you an idea of how to play Mini House Flipper. Mini House Flipper actually won, I believe, the first place for the most thematic game in the BGG contest, which was way back. I did kickstart this game, mainly the print and play version. Yeah, thank you for watching.